Initially, this would display the language GUI. This interface it would display. And based on the language you select here, uh, when you click on the button 1, that means English here, it will the code behind is we are opening the login GUI. That means we are calling this login GUI, this interface, this class by passing the language and the country code ENUS. Right now, since I'm using JDK 18, my locally file is not depreciated, but after JDK 19 onwards, right now locally file has been depreciated by locally some constructors has been depreciated. Right now, this is how that has been happened. Right now, you can see in line number in for the internationalization, you can see locally classes changes, and from Java 19, all constructors of locally class have been depreciated. Instead, you should use the locally.off right now. Therefore, either you have to use the locally builder or locally.off. Locally.off you have to use. Java, you have to change accordingly. If it may show you as depreciated, then either you can, for the time being, you can leave it as it is and it will work. Otherwise, if you want to change it, you have to change it to locally.off. Right. Then you can just search for that locally depreciation in Java 19, then you will be able to get it. Right. And therefore now, right, initially what happens here is you select the language here. Based on the language you select, you double click. Based on the language button you click, it will pass the respective locally file ENOUS. That means here we have changed the constructor. We have changed the constructor of the login GUI. You can see all loaded constructor. We have added this all loaded constructor. And here we are passing locally object. Then here whatever the locally we are passing it to here, we using that locally, we are setting the default locally of this form into the whatever the locally you have passed language and the country code. Right. And thereafter, now it will display accordingly. And then here, this will, like once you go to the now, like from the language GUI, when you click on the language, according to the language, the text would change and then it would direct you to the login GUI. From the login interface, when you click on login, right now, when you click on the login button, right now there, you can see it will take you to the item store, new item store. Right, then here it will take you to the new item store. In the new item store, right now we need to pass the local. Therefore, we don't know what is the locally. User has selected what is the language user has selected from here. Therefore, now here, whatever the language user has selected here, we are passing it to the login GUI as a parameter. Now we are passing a locally, whatever the language and the country code we are passing here. See, and that country code and the language code is saved here in the constructor. Here we are getting this that is saved into a global variable created on the login GUI called locally. For that LCL variable, it gets saved. Now we assign LCL, whatever the local variable we created, as the whatever the past parameter. So now LCL contains whatever the user selected language and the country code, and that we are passing into the item store. Now we are passing that into the item store, whatever the user selected values, country code and the language code. And then if you go to the item store GUI also here, you can see the constructor has been overloaded. Constructor has been overloaded to accept the locally, which pass to this. Therefore, now here there's another parameter we declared called locally, LCL. Now here, whatever the value we are passing here, that would come into this. And then according to this locally, we change the default locally of this frame into the values you have passed. Therefore, Now, if you run this right now, first let's run Java server connected, and now we can run this. Now, if you run the language, it will ask you to select the language. If it is English, it would be like this. Right now, I can't remember the usernames and passwords. Let me check quickly. Because the fetch first 100 rows does not work here in this version of the JDBC. Like I have admin ABC123. Right. Then admin ABC123. If it is welcome user, that means correct username and password has been entered. Now you will be able to see in English. Right. Now if you run this with a different language, you will be able to select German, and then this would be changing into German, and then admin ABC123. And if you log in here, this would be changing into the German language. Now this is what we have done. Up to this point, everything you can refer to the last week recording, and then you can see it from there. Right. Now today I'm gonna show you how to load the values into this table, and how to insert values using by entering values into these text fields by clicking on this button, and how to update, how to delete, and how to search, and how to load the values, and thereafter how to write into a text files and how to read from a text file. Those we will discuss. And then it's high time for you to start with your own project. Think of your project. Now I have already given you how the marks has been marks going to distribute. Therefore, you should know uh, how you're going to get the marks, right? Therefore, do you have any idea how you're going to get the marks? Did I share with you? Did I share with you? Now I want your response, because now very
Yes,
less
sir.
number of people are here.
Yes,
I would
sir.
have quite easily cancel this, right? Rather canceling, I'm conducting the class, because I would have shared the previous recording with you, right? Therefore, if you do not talk, that will happen, right? Okay, let me show you again how what you're gonna get, right? Okay, is this the one I have shared to you? For the user interface, you'll get 5 marks, and then for the login with two different user roles, 10 marks. Insert, update, delete, 15 marks. Now you don't know yet. Insert, update, delete. Right now for this one, like around, I have just showed you how to connect, but that is not what I'm expecting from you. I want you to do a research and then start referring to other sources and see how you can have different user permissions, user roles, likewise. And how to do the search, we haven't done. Intersolization, I showed you how to do it using different languages. The logs we haven't done yet. Date time we haven't done yet, and these are up to you to do it by yourself. Right. Now let's see the rest. Right now, make sure right now we will be discussing
Sir, excuse me.
today
Sir,
and the
excuse me.
next. Yes, yes.
Sir, do we have multi-threading?
Do you have multi-threading?
Yeah.
Yes, otherwise you can't display the date and time, no?
Yes, sir.
I want you to display the current date and time. For that, you have to use threads,
Okay, sir.
because otherwise you will not be able to display the time, no? Right now, we will be discussing practicals today and the next week as well, 5th. And then 12th, I'm going to give you a holiday. You will be able to practice. You have time for you to finish your work. And then you can show your project on 19th and get a feedback. And then from 21st to 26th week, within that week, you have to submit the project, right? Now, nearly at the last 25th, no? Oh, right, yes. So I will be submitting on 28th. Now, let's say nearly 1 month you have now, exactly 1 month for the mark submission date. Therefore, now you have to start working with the user interfaces, designs, and everything. Therefore, make sure you work on this, right? Okay. Now, right. Then we'll first create the table first. We'll create the table first. Okay. What are the values we have designed here? ID, name, price, quantity. ID, name, price, quantity. Right. Therefore, go back to the services and the tables here. Right click on this and then select create table, or if you wish, you can type the execute command as well. Right now, if you don't know how the execute command works, again, don't worry, just search for W3 schools SQL. Right now, search for W3 school SQL, and there, if you want to figure out how to create a table, you can figure out create table. Well, create table here, create table. Then you can see this is the syntax you see how to use create table, table name, and the column types here like this. Right now, then in your program, you may have like foreign key relations. Right now, if you have foreign key constraints, how to connect with two tables. Right now, this is how you can figure out how to connect with the primary key, foreign key, likewise. Then that's up to you. You need to think. Right. You have to do a research on this. Right. Then my concern is how to create a table. For the if you don't know SQL, don't worry. We can go ahead with the items table. Right. Items. I table names items, and I'm gonna have the columns then item ID, item ID. Right. For the item ID, I don't worry about having some label whatever characters as well as numbers as well. Therefore, I'm going to say size is 6. And I'm going to set it as the primary key. Item ID. And I need to have item name. And for the item name also, I'm going to set Vacha. Size, I'm going to set it as like 15. And that cannot be null. And I need to have price. For the price, you can have here, you have decimal values, right? Or you can have double, right? You can have, I'm going to set it as decimal. Price as decimal value, and that also going to be null. And you can have the quantity. Quantity, you can set it as integer, and that also going to be null. Likewise, you can set, right? And then you can have the values. Click OK. Right now we have the items table as well. Right now, what I want to do is initially, I want to have some record to the items table. Let's say first we'll add some records to the items table. Right, you can run this. Let's add one record for this ITM ITM 101 Vacha 5. Okay. A1C 100 A100, and item name I'm gonna set it as share price 590.99, quantity 10. I'm gonna add the record. Right now we have one item in the table. Right now we are done with the table. Right, then here we have to load the values into the this table, and thereafter when you click on the insert, update, delete, we have to do the changes accordingly. Right, now I will give you 1 minute for you to quickly create the database quickly create the table. Right, now let's see how can we load the values to this new item store. Right now, first of all, I need to load the items, right? Therefore, I'm gonna go to the code behind here. I'm gonna come up with a method now to get the values. Right now, let's say we'll write a method called void load table or fill table refresh. We'll have refresh table, and then for this we need to create the connection. Right. For this, we will use previously written code, right? I'm gonna copy from the login GUI, and I'm gonna paste it here. Right now, connection object and the statement objects here. I'm gonna create at the beginning connection object, connection, and Right. And the statement object also, let's declare at the top, then we could use it later on. And the result set. Right now, these would be different now that we need to handle it. Right now, first, the URL is this, and then we will have this one as well. All right, the table name is not the login, not the login info. The table name is what? Items, right? Therefore, you can go to properties. Oh no, the database is login info. Yes, correct, correct. Right. Now we can have this also declared at the top. Right now we have done with this. Now we need to create the connection object drive manager dot get connection, right? And thereafter we can just statement create statement, and then from the result set object we can get select all from not from the user info. We need to get from the items right now. That is from items. Select all from items. Right now we don't need a boolean variable, right? Now we have to load the values right now. While rs.next right now, okay, beforehand we'll get a default table model. Default table. Default table model, let's say dt m equals, we can get from this interface, which is jtable1. Therefore, you can say jtable1 dot get jtable1 dot get model. Right. Okay, this may have to cast into a default table model type. Right. And then we have to get the right table model, and then we need to get the we'll set the beginning row count as 0, dtm dot set row count as 0. Right. Then we can have it like exponents. While rs.next, we have to create a vector. Vector v equals new vector. Then we can say v dot add. We have add from the results at dot get string. We can have by the column index, which is 1. But we have how many columns we have there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 columns, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 columns we have added. And after this, we can say default table model dot add row. We can pass this vector, right? Then we could say JTable1 dot set model default table model. Right. Now we can set the default table model at set model. Right. And then we can call this the fill table method and the uh, constructor. Right. For the time being, we can call this on both. Right. And now we can run it and see how it gonna looks like, whether it works, whether the values are getting loaded to the getting loaded or not. That's what we need to figure out. So quickly run it and see whether it works. Is it working? You can see here the values are loaded here, and then these titles you could change. Right. Now let's see how to change the titles as well. Okay, now we know to change the titles here. Select the table, go to the table content. Right now you can have the columns. Here you can have the titles. Title 1, you can have item ID. And then you can have item name, price, the quantity. Right. You can see the values names has changed. Now if you run only this interface, only this frame right now, the new item store only, this would work because here we have changed in the default constructor also to follow the same with that refresh table. Right now you can see here, this is how it gonna look like, right? Okay, quickly complete that if you have not done up to this point. Now what I want to do is when I click on the table here, when I click on the table, therefore right click on the table and find the click event. What I want to do is here when I click on the table, when that means when I select a row here, that row should be that value should be displayed on these text fields, right? Therefore, let's see mouse clicked this table dot mouse table mouse clicked event. Then first of all, we'll get what is the row user has selected. Integer r is equals to j table 1 dot get selected row. Right. And then here we need to get the from the table we need to get the table model as well. Then you can have table model tm is equals to j table 1 dot get model. And now we can set the values into the text fields. Here the text fields IDs are 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then j text field 1, j text field 1 dot set dot get no set value. The text. Okay, j table 1 dot set text. What value do I need to get from the table model dot get value what? We need to pass the row ID. Row ID is R and the column ID. And the column ID gonna be 0. Right. Then that value. Okay, we have to set it to a two string. What does it say? Native text field 1 dot set text. We're gonna get table model dot get value at row index R, column index 0. I can do this right. Not two string, right. You're gonna do the same thing repeatedly for 4 times. Text field 1, 2, 3, and 4. Column 1, 2. Right now, let's run it and see how it looks like. Now, like this, when you click, the values will be displayed into these text fields. Right now, we can click when you click on insert, because the same value we can't add, but then when you click on insert, we would be able to try inserting the values. Right. They quickly try out this. Right. Now, when you click on the insert button, what I want to do is what are the values in these fields should be added to the database table. Let's double click on the insert. Now you need to know about how to insert a value into a table. Right now, for that again, you have to search for the SQL tutorials. Right, then you can go for insert into. The command is this insert into, and then we need to have the column names and the values. Insert into table name values, like this is what we can do it. Right, now let's try out how to do this. Okay. We'll have a copy of these as well for our reference. Right, when you double click on this, we'll copy it. Now from here, I'm going to copy this try catch block in order to make the database connection. Here we need to connect to this, find. Okay, right. Now we have to write a query now. Right. Then the result. Okay, these are not required. Right. Now we need to create a statement. Now connections dot create statement. Right now we have to try out using the insert query. Okay, try out quickly. Check the insert one, how it works. Right. We'll have to write a query, right? Then string, write the query, string query. We'll pass it here. What are these? Connection dots. We can create the query. Prepare statement, and the query is insert into table name is what? Items. Column names are item ID, item name, price, and quantity. Item ID, item name, price, and the quantity. Values we need to pass the values. We have to pass 4 values. Therefore, we'll leave 4 question marks. And now we'll say t dot set string. Do we have set parameter? No, set string. Right, then we'll make this as a prepared statement. That would be easier then. In that case, let's get back to here quickly at the beginning. Here, statement object, let's create into prepared statement. Prepared statement. Change the statement into prepared statement quickly. Then here, change this one into connection.prepare statement. From the refresh table, then if it is a prepare statement, we have to pass the query here. Okay. This is what we have to do. This is the only change we have to do there at the refresh table. If you make it as a prepared statement, this is what these are the 2 changes we have done. We have done this, and we have done this. Right. Line number 28. This change, and we have changed the statement into prepared statement because prepared statement is easier for us to work. Right. Then let's get back to here. Now we are going to statement object is a prepared statement object now. We can pass the values by setting set string parameter index. We can set it as now here we have to pass these parameters. No? What are the values? Now those we have to pass here. Right now, we have to set the parameters. Right now, what we have to do is t dot set string parameter index. Like which one? This is the first one. For the first one, we need to pass the value, which is taken from the jtext field one. Jtext field one dot get text. Right now, that is a varsha. Therefore, we can pass it as a string. Right now, let's see. Right now, if it's the second one. Right now, the second one, item name also string value. Therefore, we can pass it as the parameter 2. And the third one is a price. Right now, we'll see what we can have. Right now, we can pass it as a double value. Then we can have text field 3 dot get text. JText field 3 dot get text. Right. And then the last one, quantity, which is an integer. 13 which is integer at passing. Then we can execute the query st dot execute update execute query that is querying the object on. Do we have execute update? Yes, insert update delete queries. We have to use execute update. Then we can display a message saying G option pane dot show message that the user has. Let's copy this. We'll go direct. Now let's see whether it works. Here, right now, you can see here, if you try this, now you should be end up by getting an error. What is the error? You should be getting here right now. See, um, A05105, and if you click insert, then it says syntax error encountered vals. Right now, here that is here vals values. Then we need to have values. Here, first you need to correct it values. Right. Then again, if you run it again if you select this one, okay, let me stop this first. Already running task. Then if you select one, it should load this right now. Why it is not loading? Okay, now only selected. Right. 101, and if you try insert, record added, but it won't display anything. Right now you can see it won't display. Why is it? But now it has not displayed. But if you run it again for the next time, now that should be loaded here. You will see that is there already. Now that is there. Why is it? 100 and 101 because we have not called the refresh table method, right? Therefore, after this, after inserting a record here, once you say record added, here you can call the refresh table method. You can call the refresh table method. Therefore, once it adds the record, that would display the record added. Like for an example here, I'm gonna have a 103, which is not a chair, which is a desk, which is right now. I'm gonna set it as 790, quantity 50, and I'm gonna insert record added, and you can see it is added here right to the data. Right now it's done. The next task is to delete. The next task is to delete. Now we'll see how to delete. We quickly try out first. Yes. If you are done with this, just go to the W3 school site again and search for SQL delete command. How to delete. Find out how to delete and send me via chat what is the delete command. Right. The delete. Okay. Then the delete button. Right. Okay. How to do the delete button? If you double click on the delete, yeah, we need to figure out what is the ID of the selected row. Actually, do we need to get it from the selected ID? I didn't know, right? If we have not selected, there will be issue. Anyway, otherwise you can get it from the text field one as well. Right. Therefore, we can have the string ID is equals to table model dot get value at row ID R and the column index. We have the item ID is in the zeroth column. Therefore, zero. Right. Okay, that is. We have to connect it to the string. Right. Okay, now it's a matter of deleting now. Therefore, let's copy this try catch block. Okay, we need to get the connection. Then let's prepare statement delete from delete from items. But where? We need to find out which item to delete. Where item ID equals where item ID equals right where item ID equals. And then we need to pass the item ID here. Then item ID is from, and even if we have selected a value, then this would be fine. Right now, if we are taking from the text field 1, right, then we don't need this actually. Right, we'll do it likewise. Um, text field 1 dot get text field is there to set the item ID, right? Yes. Then we can display a message saying that is deleted afterwards. Right. We have already. We can say execute updates and record removed. But if you want to check whether before you want to remove it, if you want to get the user confirmation, you can say integer option is equals j option pane dot show confirm message dialog j option pane dot show confirm message dialog saying remove. Right now you can have the get experience one dot get text. And then if user said yes, if option equals to j option pane dot yes option, we need to execute update and then you can display this. And then we have to refresh also. if it is, if user said yes. Otherwise, you don't have to refresh, right? Okay, let's run the table, run the file and see. Now, we have three records at the moment. I'm going to delete 101, then press delete. If I say no, it should not. If I say cancel, it should not. If I say yes, it should. Record removed. Right. Right. Then again, you don't want that yes, no options like yes, no, cancel, all three options. If you don't want, you can have the title for this as well. But you can have the string title. Then you can have confirmation. And we can have the option type and the message type. Option type is you can set like J option pane dot only yes no only we want. Then you can say yes no option. And the message type also we can set it like J option pane dot question message that you are just passing integer values here is right. If we don't know what are those, that's why otherwise you should have passed string. Right. Now if you run this, you will be able to see, let's say, let's duplicate a record 101, insert, record added, and then that you want to delete. If you say yes, no, only no, and then no, won't delete, saying yes, we'll remove it. Right. Now we are done with this. Now let's try to think how to do the update. How to do the update. Right now, try by yourself. Right now, insert by using insert and delete, you can figure out how to do the update. When you click on the update button, how to do that. Quickly figure it out. Right, then the delete. So update. The update, how can you do it? First, yes, how can you do the update? Any idea? Okay, first quickly find out what is the update query. I'm gonna take a copy of from the insert and double click on the update button. The update first, I need to figure out what is the user selected item. Like now, for since I have not used these commands in delete, let me use it. And even you don't need it here, so anyway, we'll try. Right, then we can get the selected row. Right, we need to say update items. Right now, what we need to update items, set item name, item ID we gonna use later on. We need to set the item name equals comma, question mark, and then price equals question mark, quantity question mark, where item ID equals item ID equals item ID equals. Right, then we need to set the parameters. Right now we have to set it date for set string column index, parameter index 1, parameter index 2, parameter index 3, item name. What does it say? Incompatible type, string currently converted. Set item name. Set double price. This is right where item name. Set string parameter index 4, which is right. Now when you build it, this error will go away. Right now, if you want, here either you can pass this text field one dot get text, or you can pass this ID. It's up to you. Yeah, either pass it. Now here, since I have, okay, if you don't want this, you don't have to use it. Otherwise, you can use the ID. Right, then we can execute update, and then we can say record updated. Record updated and refresh it. Right, now let's run it and see whether the query is okay. Right now, let's say the desk, I'm gonna name it into table, and quantity I'm gonna set it to 60, and this into 700. update. Uh, into at line number update into no wrong update items. The query is wrong. Yes, update items. The query name is query is update items. That's why. Tables 190 and 60. Right. Again, it says that line number system encounter. Yes, the bracket. See, we have missed that as well. Right. The bracket. Record updated. You can see here the price. I'm going to set it to 789 and the quantity type. You can see you can update. Now this is how you insert, update, delete works. Right. We quickly try out up to this and then we can figure out how to do the search. Quickly try out this, then we'll see how to do the search. Look for SQL-like operator. W3 school SQL. Right now, here go to this one and then see the like operator. Right now, from this, for an example, this query will retrieve all the customers' names from the customer table where names start from A. Likewise, then now this is the way we can use the search. Let's figure it out how to do this now. Try to do it by yourself. When you type something, let's say item name, and yes, according to item name, and then thereafter try to expand it to omni search. That means whether you whatever you type here, either it is from item ID or item name or price or quantity, whatever, in order to search. Try to do it. I'll give you around 2 to 3 minutes time. Try to figure it out. Now this should happen here when you type something on this. When you type something on this text field, therefore right click on the text field, find the event, and then select key released event. And then we need to do it when the key released. Right now here, you can copy the okay, you can copy this entire code, or else you can modify this in order to pass the query here. Therefore, now I'm not gonna modify the code here since I'm just gonna copy the code here and then I'm gonna paste it into here. Right now, this would load all the values. Now, this is where we need to change. Right now, this is where we need to change, and then we need to pass the parameter as well. Right? Think how can we do this? we need to edit these. So, right. Now we'll see. Right, select all from items where we'll do it for the item name first. Where item name, like, right. And then we're going to pass only one parameter. Then parameter index is one. Item name is from text field 2. This is text field 2, yes, from the text field 2. Therefore, from text field 2 dot set text. Right. We'll see how it will. The parameter index is 1. Right. Parameter index is 1. Right. And then here without wildcard, if you use it won't work. Right. Therefore, any values you don't mind having any values at the beginning or at the end. Therefore, whatever the search string, if you don't mind having at the beginning or at the end. Like now, if you don't mind anything to have in at the beginning, you can put a percentage sign at the beginning plus jtext field to not get text. And if you don't mind after this text to have anything, then after this text field to also you can have the percentage sign. This is what you call as using the wildcards. Right now, uh, you need to wildcard mask for as well. Right now, let's see. We have only two records in the table. Right, therefore, let's see whether how can we have chair and table. If we type tables, uh, chair. Right, right. What's wrong with this? Right now, let's see. Select all from items where item name like you pass the parameter. That's good. Then the values we get it, and then we step the table 1.5. This is text field 5, yes. Right now, what do you think? What could be the reason for this? Right now, if it is stable, TAB, no, nothing. Right. Okay, let's see item name, and then we are passing text field to which is the item name. Right. Right now, that is because of there's a problem in our code. The problem here is what? So you should see that now I have not selected anything right now. Here I'm getting from item 2 text right now. Therefore, here it will work according to the this text, right? Therefore, this is not where it should take. The value should be taken from the text field file, right? Change it to text field 5 and see how it works. Right now, right now you can see when you say change the values, it updates right now. If it is chair, we type on this and then table on this right now. Or if it is type R, only chair contains R right now. If I want to bind in order to work with the item ID field as well, then you could try out where item name like and you could try out then and item ID, item ID like right now, then two parameters to be sent. Second parameter also, whatever user has typed here. Not and we'll have it O operator, no? Either. Right. Yes, if you use and then if it contains on both, then only it would display, no? Then we'll have O operator and see. Now here you can see if you type A10, if you just type 3, A103. If you type table T, right now you can see this is how A contains in both. If it is 3, it works only as A103. And if you type R, R is from chair. If it is E is from table. If it is simple T, nothing. If it is capital T, then see that is how it works. Right. Therefore, this is how you can implement search with like multiple columns in your search work with the multiple columns. I try to expand this for the other columns as well. Right now, we have only changed these three from the refresh table method, right? Only these two refresh table method. And again, we have used these wildcard percentage at the beginning and at the end in order to make sure whatever the search string it may contain at the beginning, at the end, or in the middle, or anywhere. That is why we have put the double percentage sign. Okay, quickly complete this up to this point. Okay, now one thing I will show you as well here. Right now, let me put another label here. Right now here, I'm going to put a label, J label 6, right? I'm going to load, and here, according to the time language selected, according to the, we'll localize the date and time. For that, now here we are getting the locally as well. Then after init components, after loading this, we can create a date object, date d equals new date, right? And I'm gonna get the date format object as well. Date format df is equals to date format dot date format dot get date instance, get date instance, right? And I'm gonna get the style for this date format dot full means full system pattern. We can have default and full. Let's say date format is full, and local we're gonna pass MCL, and here we're gonna pass label 6. We have just created, right? Date D equals new date. What is your access? No suitable constructor for date, no arguments constructor for date. Okay, we'll have java.util.date. Is it util.date? Yes. All right. Now we have to get the java.util.date, and then we can set JLabel 6 dot JLabel 6 dot set text. We need to set by formatting df dot format the date object. Right. Let's run it and see how this works. Right now, the date object will display only if we call through, if we initialize this one only through this item store GUI with the local event. Therefore, in order to do that, that should happen only when you call by the entering the password. Otherwise, if you right click and run, it will run only this one. Therefore, that won't display any date. Right now, I'm gonna select right, which the German. Here I'm gonna have admin and ABC123 and login. Here now the label text we have not expanded here. That's the problem here. If you do it like that, it will display the entire problem. Right. That's it. Mm. German admin ABC123. Right now you can see Sam Stack 28 September 2024. Right now that's a good German form. Right now let's try it using French. Now then this is how the French according to the French. If you try it using English, it will display according to the English language. This is how it works. Right now, try to do this. And then next day, I'm gonna talk about how to write into text files, how to read from a text file, and so on. And if you're unable to do this localization, initialization, or these any questions you have to ask next week, because next week we will be winding up the session, and then how to display the time and everything. Try out next by the coming week, and then ask questions on the next day, and thereafter you will have the following week holiday for you to complete the project. Then starting from 19th, you can show me and get feedback, and thereafter you can show me the final project. Any questions you can ask now? I'm done. Any questions?